Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy?
There's the lady. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. We got a great show today. I'm here with Bill Dawes, the man, the myth, the legend, as well as Tai Emery, who went viral. It's very hard to go viral these days. She figured out how to do it in the greatest way possible. As well as we have Gita-Marie coming in too, who is a trans fighter who fights men, and she's very, very funny and hilarious. So I bring you the most interesting people that I know that I could possibly get a hold of. First, we'll talk to Tai because Tai, I believe it was your debut, right?
Yeah, debut for BKFC anyway.
Yes. Now, I knew Tai. She came to a comedy show, Dirty at 12:30 in Vegas. She was living in Vegas.
Boy, that show.
She was gorgeous girl, and very sweet. I mean, just the nicest, like one of the people you meet, you're like, man, she makes you feel like very warm and that you could possibly bang her if you were single. She gives off that but then you're like, no, she's way too hot. Anyway, so then I looked at her picture. She's ripped. She's shredded. So then she moves to Thailand. I believe you're from Australia, right?
Yeah, originally from Australia.
Yeah, moves to Thailand. I don't see her for years, but I see her on the internet because she's ripped and she's showing off her butt and this and that. Then all of a sudden, it was like, girl flashes in BKFC debut. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And it's you. It's you. And talk to me. What's going on? How did all this happen?
Well, I think viral things like that, like obviously everything was just all in the moment. I really enjoy like saying things or doing things just to see how far I can push like any circumstances. So I did throw it out there to Nick Chapman because he's like, what are you going to do if you win? I said, well, I'm going to flash my tits just like I do in any other circumstance. How else am I going to celebrate? And I threw that out there just to see how he would react. And I thought, okay, if it's bad, obviously I'm going to cross it off because I really need a job. We're a fucking broke fighter. But he kind of thought, he was like, oh, that'd be crazy. And I was like, I am crazy. So once I kind of got that as an all clear and then mentioned something to Kendra Lusk because she's one of my main sponsors, once you kind of get the clear that, hey, you will represent, as long as you're representing yourself, then you are good to go. And once I kind of got those clears, then I didn't think that I would and wouldn't not think that I would. But honestly, like first round knockout, everything just went so beautifully. I couldn't help it. Just literally every day inspiring as I walk down, I'll just pretend to pull one up and just walk around. And this is just Wednesday at Tiger, like just Wednesday sparring. And I'm just like, bah! So I think, honestly, just from always doing that, it just happened automatically, just getting up, cheering, and I was like, oh, fuck it, and just like went with it. And I thought, we'll just deal with that later. Like, let's deal with how that.
There's a lot of things we got to uncover here. First of all, your sponsor is Kendra Lusk, who is like one of the biggest porn stars in the world, one of the hottest. So of course what is she going to say? No.
No, she said for me to sit and think about it because we all have like our own agendas. And she was just super positive in letting me know that whatever I come to terms with and want to do, that she will support it. And for me to think about my reasons why. And I think that's like, what more can you ask for?
Well, by the way, your hands look great. I mean, your tits look great too, but your hands look amazing.
Thank you.
But
I don't think I would have gotten away with it. I don't think he'd get away with a titty flash if it was just like, by decision win or something that didn't look good.
Yeah.
But I feel that the sheer fact that I came out and just had amazing technique for, my first BKFC fight, I feel because everything was so balanced, that's how you can get away with fucking doing something like that, is because it was already like, yo.
Yeah.
So wait, never been done before in female sports. I remember the girl took her shirt off for a sports bar in soccer, but no girls ever flashed after winning in female sports.
No.
Ever?
I mean, not in like a major organization.
This is where everyone's scared. Everyone's scared of losing their jobs. Like everyone's scared of that. And I think when you take away like the money side of it, like for one, I was fighting in Thailand. So all the people in BKFC America, like I fought for $800 American. This bitch wasn't about money. This was about making sure that BKFC, because they had signed me for 4 fights, that one, hey, I didn't come to fucking play around. Like I came to fight. And I think something changes you when you're sitting in the jungle, sleeping on the concrete, like mattress on the floor in a Muay Thai gym in Thailand. I think when a lot of things are taken away from me and I'm eating 1 cup of egg and rice, like, of course I came to say fuck you to everyone. And I feel that I did it in the best way, like being like, I'm wild and free and this isn't about money. And it didn't matter about like what anyone was going to say or do. It was more about that for me.
But I mean, you've definitely upped the game. Like the next girl in Thailand is gonna whip out her dick. So
I'd pay to see that.
Just so you know. Now you were living on the floor in the gym.
Limping. I was living. So when the last when I had my first interview with you, I was living in a gym in the jungle of Thailand, like on the outskirts of Hawaii, and I was sleeping on a mattress that had holes and like divots, but I was sleeping on a mattress on the concrete floor. Like there was no anything. There wasn't running water. I was using a bucket and ladle to shower. I was eating 1 cup of rice and egg a day. And then I was fighting at the stadiums just to get a little bit of money to live.
What do you mean fighting at the stadiums? What do you mean fighting at the stadiums?
I was doing a stadium circuit. So that's where I started doing all of my pro Muay Thai fights, was out of they call it like the stadium circuit. So I was at Bangla Stadium, where you're fighting for like $50.
But are you fighting in the actual in an event or like in like the parking lot? Like where are you fighting?
Bangla Stadium is an actual stadium in the Patong area of Phuket. So it's just a traditional Muay Thai run of the mill, stadium place.
So how do you only get $50 if there's a whole stadium?
Hey?
Chicken fighting, right?
I'm fighting chicks. Yes, I was fighting chicks.
Yeah.
No, I mean they have like chicken fighting, like roosters fighting each other, like when the people are fighting.
Yeah, a little similar to that, but Bangla is a little bit of an upgrade. So they would probably do that in the car park out the back.
Oh my God. No, I mean, because your life on Instagram does not because it looks like you're always like in the front of a sunset and you're always like, and you're showing.
I always find the beauty in any situation. But I guess for me, if someone wanted to take photos of me and post me in those times, I would have posted them. But I think the last thing I'm ever thinking over the last few years was, people want to really see that you're living out of a car, or people really want to see you struggling. Nobody gives a shit. Work harder, train harder, talk about it when you make it.
But you're
truth. We all know it. That's the truth. Everyone's got a sad story. Everyone's sacrificing things. I could have quit at any time and gone back to being an electrician or thermographer at any moment. So I think I was an electrician and a thermographer. And so I think, I think for everyone, this is about something else, and it's about, it's always about something else. That's why we do it.
What's a thermographer?
It's thermal electrician. So it's an infrared camera. Electricity is frequency. Frequency is vibration. Vibration is heat. So I can see faults. I can see where things need to be maintained. It allows you to see electricity, so to say.
Wow. Now, are your parents, did they watch the fight?
I'm come from a broken home, so I'm sure maybe they watched it. I didn't have parents really from the age of like 8 on. So that's stay in school and love your parents if you have them, or else you'll end up like me.
Wait, hold up.
What a champ.
You're like a Marvel villain. You're like a Marvel superhero. Who fights why did you leave your house at 8?
Well, they weren't doing a good job, were they? So see you later.
But like where did you live at 8 years old?
I was still living in the house. We just had no parents there for a few years. And then that's when I got picked up by the system and moved into 2 different family homes through high school.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. I like
an X-rated Disney princess story, where
I like envy and also feel for your boyfriend if you have one. Because
I don't have a boyfriend. I've been very single for a long time, and I think there's a lot of reasons we can easily see as to the reasons why I probably will stay single for a while.
But you're so nice because you were with that Russian girl who was not
Thank
nice.
you, Yana.
Yeah, and she hated me. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Why did you say that?
But she's nice to me now on Instagram. But at the time, she was like, "You're in my seat" or something. I don't know what would happen, but I remember like you were just beyond nice. And I think you came to the show the night before. She thought I was just some fucking weird guy. Now that I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Now, you said your OnlyFans has been off the chain since then.
Yeah. It's completely blown up. Thank you for everyone that's helped me to go viral. Like this is just like the craziest Princess Disney story ever made.
I want to hear more about that. I want to hear more about like actual how it went viral. Like, first of all, did you throw your shirt into the audience? Does someone own your shirt now, or how's it?
No, no one has my shirt. I just because I went up on this and I pulled one out at the same time, just like. And
yeah, not only that, but Bill also.
I'm lucky that it flicked back in because when I jumped back onto
one
the floor,
titty.
I was like,
is
one titty back in?
Yeah, but Bill,
one titty flash.
But Bill also.
Yeah, they need to correct that breast.
But Bill also, it wasn't a great angle because it wasn't like a front shot, so it was a side shot, and she's also super ripped. She's got like an 8-pack, and she's got a fake tit, right? So it looked great because it was like fake tit. Yeah, it was a perfect angle for a titty shot, to be honest, because it was like super flat stomach, big, it wasn't like a big floppy, titty like that you see it. It wasn't an IHOP titty. It was a fucking,
Yeah, you're not expecting like a nice round full titty after being punched in the titties for so long.
Dude, and not only that, she didn't take a punch in the face. The fight was over in 20 seseconds. She went over and just fucking murked this girl. It was like she was hitting a heavy bag. Basically it was like she threw like a 20 fucking punch combo, like landed every single punch, and then did like a lap, and then grabbed up and showed her titty. But people in Thailand aren't expecting that, which is crazy because they have like, shows where they show ping pong into vaginas over there and stuff.
Yeah.
So
they pull razor blades out of their vagina over here, and all of a sudden people are like, she showed her nipple, and okay, one funny sort of fact is, so transgenders, as long as they have their dick still, are allowed to flash their fake titty, but women are still not allowed to even breastfeed. So if you've still got your dick and you're a tranny, like, go for gold. You don't have the same laws.
Well, luckily in 15 minutes we'll be able to answer that question. Now when you jump now, your OnlyFans though, like, so are you rich now?
Am I rich now? I don't think anyone can say that you're out of the clear with just 1 month. I think we want to have to see whether it's a trend and whether it stays. I do feel that it's going to stay quite solid through my BKFC career. I can't see it going backwards too far. But yeah, definitely life has changed. But for anyone who really understands money, a one-off paycheck at, 40K, 50K isn't going to keep you rich for forever. So things need to be invested.
Crazy. I mean, you show one tit, $50,000 later. Now, how many crazy requests are you getting from people?
I am still trying to go through all of the DMs because that's what I felt like people are paying for, is that actual interaction. but it just keeps rocking up. Like every day I've now reached 700 inboxes. So I got to get back to you on those because holy moly.
Is it like,
sorry, everyone on OnlyFans, I fucking am doing my best to get back to everyone.
but that's like a full-time job. People are like, hey, I want you to yell my name while putting your finger in your vagina, like stuff like that, right? Like,
for sure. I'm sure. I haven't had that one yet, though.
Oh, I'm going to write that one later. But yeah.
Thank you, 77265.
No, I do not. That's not me. Me and my wife share bank accounts, and I do not want anyone seeing that. So that's crazy, though. So, I mean, what's the backlash? Have you gotten any backlash from it?
Okay, so the backlash, I did just get a call from Nick Chapman today because he's just come back from David Feldman at BKFC. And now before the shows, they will be sitting all the fighters down to let them know that no one is allowed to flash their boob. That ties in a lot of trouble. From men and women, they will be asking for everyone to not display their nipples, and that pretty much most either half to or more than half of our paycheck will be deducted if someone is to go ahead and do it.
Wait, men can't flash their nipples, but they're already topless.
Yeah, I guess so. But I was told that they will say to all fighters that Ty's done this, and this is what we're going to do from here. Everyone, we're going to keep our shirts down. And we're going to all be good boys and girls as we punch each other in the face in this beautiful blood sport called bare knuckle. But
all right,
continue.
So Bill, you dropped out for a second. So now they have to have a meeting with all the fighters saying they can't flash their tits before, like for men and women.
So can a man flash one of his balls?
I don't know. I don't know how that would go down. He could get some good sponsors out of that, though.
Something, right? Someone's got to go and try.
I mean, but you think about it. You think about like Woodstock back in the day, like 50 years later, you could punch each other in the face with your bare knuckle, but you can't flash your tit. Like, don't you think as a society we're going in the wrong direction? Like, as far as like hey, you're allowed to bare knuckle fight, but you can't show a nipple. That's too much.
So, what would your next knockout? You got to do something. What would it be?
Hell, just to be honest, if someone's going to tell me that, we're now being fined, like I said, this wasn't for money. Take my motherfucking paycheck. If it can stir enough shit and annoy that many people, that's right up my alley. That's like William Wallace with blue fucking paint. That's what I should do. Paint my nipples blue and white, just like William Wallace, and just be like, "You'll never touch our freedom."
Oh yeah.
Can you squirt on the crowd? That'd be kind of cool if you could.
Whoa.
Hey, what about the ping pong ball trick?
Yeah, like that would be amazing. All of a sudden, it's like when Tai fights, like umbrellas go up. Like,
hey, maybe they'll enjoy that more. It'll feel a bit more like home.
Oh my god, that's so now. But as far as backlash from other fighters, have you got any from other fighters telling you like this is your disgrace or blah blah blah?
No. And if they are, I'm just not going to reply or open that DM. I don't need that negativity in my life.
I love it. So now you're
everyone's been supportive, bro. Everyone's been so supportive. Even a lot of the women, like super, like everyone's just been like, wow, you really stood for something. And I think that's cool.
Now, there was a fighter that said that you were at the gym with him and it was like his first day of jiu-jitsu. I think he's in the UFC now. And you were like, hey, pussy, this is how you do it. And you taught the guy how to do jiu-jitsu. Do you know what I'm talking about?
This definitely sounds like me.
Let me see.
I wish I was the guy. That sounds hot.
Let me see. It was something that like how like you and like Rowdy Beck and Jesse Jess, you guys all have that same like Australian like thing where you're just like because hold on, let me see. It was the one where I made the joke about Daniel Cormier has been flashing his like boobs for years, and then somebody wrote he goes, here we go. Oh shit, my dog. Some guy named War the Destroyer, Warren Thompson, who's a heavyweight. He said, yeah. He said I remember her helping. I remember us helping her with grappling. And she said, "Hey, mate, is my vajayjay showing?"
Yes.
Wait, what happened?
So that's at Majiro's gym. So we were just like a little small knock up where they got the name, I think, like out of Japan or wherever Majiro's gym is originally from. And we were out of Atlanta, Georgia. So we had, Warren Thompson, a couple of Glory Boys, Clint Hester, and a couple of like UFC guys. And we were grappling and we were up in the cage. And because they're like heavyweights. And I'm rolling with them, and I think either someone's elbow or something got caught in my leotards, and I was like, "Oi, did you see my vagina?" And they lost it. And I remember thinking, I was like, "What's wrong with these guys? Like, what was so funny?" And they're like, "Vagina." I was like, "Oh." I guess when you say it in the accent, it sounds totally different, but I don't hear that. So that's what Warren's on about, and he couldn't grapple for shit. But he's a fucking really good striker. So it's also good to see that he's in BKFC now. Him and his redneck ways. That's my brother. Those guys beat me up. Like, I mean, they literally said, if you can make it to Thursday, you're allowed to stay in the gym. And then every single one of them just destroyed my soul. And I rocked back up every single day until Thursday. And they were like, you are either one crazy son of a bitch or one dumb son of a bitch or one tough son of a bitch. And they went, but you're a son of a bitch that belongs here, you know? So I love those guys. I love all the Majiro boys. They were like good times.
I feel like you're all three. Now, the thing is, why are you rolling with heavyweights?
Well, mostly it was just for a little bit of fun because they would stay on their, like he would stay on his back, but it was mostly just to show them, like, and when you're watching people and you literally see, wow, they've got no skill, and you know that you can have more technique than someone. Of course, my ego came into play. So mostly that was just an ego-driven thing for me to want to smash a heavyweight. I'm going to be honest.
Did you smash any heavyweights or no?
Yeah, were you submitting that?
Only technically. No, sorry. My bad.
Yeah, right. That's of course.
She's like, no, she didn't. I was like, they just let me have top position. Come on, guys. They waited for the triangle.
Oh, what? Oh, Jesus. Damn. Bill, isn't she a handful, this girl?
Oh, I love it. I want to roll jiu-jitsu with her. Are you kidding me? Put that in your OnlyFans as a wish item.
Ding.
Okay, so now what's the plan now? So you're still living in Thailand. You got $50,000 richer, so which is great. I mean, you live in a one bedroom on the ocean, or is that?
Yeah, one bedroom on Soi Thai, which is the fight street, same as like Tiger Muay Thai, and where all of the gyms are along. So for me, what I plan on doing is continuing, obviously, my OnlyFans and making sure that thing grows, going live way more often. Continuing on, I'll plan to fight on the next Thailand card, so whether that be on the Sanchai card in December, which I think would be awesome, to represent Thailand again and for BKFC. And then it means that in the new year, I've got the 4-fight deal still with the BKFC in America, and that'll be the focus. So yeah, I'm really lucky. I think living in Thailand and having these fights was just the perfect introduction. Especially have a look at the girls in America. These girls don't play around, and they've all had 4 to 5 bare knuckle fights. That's a lot of experience for this game. There's so many things that you start to unlock. Like after a bit, I realized I was like, man, my hands are like bullets, but I only have 20 bullets, while in a Muay Thai fighter where you've got gloves, I've never even felt that my hands would start to like break down or anything like that, so always so much to learn.
Got it. And then you're single, no men.
Yeah, no man, single.
There's 700 men in her inbox. Come on, Adam.
I know, but and then one day, do you want to have kids, a family?
Yeah, sure. Maybe one day. I'm an alpha. I've got good genetics.
Hey, Adam, both you and I make pretty good babies. We should send her pictures just in case.
Right? Yeah. This girl would fucking ruin me. I'd be homeless at a fucking gym after a week with her. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't know what the fuck. This is the kind of chick that will like bang you, call you an Uber, tell you to leave, and it's like your place. Like, it's not fun. And then she'll write you a poem the next day just to I want
It's really
That sounds like
messy.
something right up my alley.
yeah, dude. Are you? Oh my god.
It's just, A is for asshole. That's what I think of you, Adam. D
Thank
is for dickhead.
I am. That's the most beautiful thing anyone's ever said. Listen. So Ty, where can people find you? Where can they subscribe to your OnlyFans? Where can they find you on Twitter, Instagram?
I'm pretty sure you can just throw me into the Google at the moment and there'll be about 20 pages of anything that you can find on Tai Emery. I'm waiting to see, I was on this dating site that, someone's like logged me into going, Tai Emery's, who is she dating? So I'm excited to see that become more updated with just people's bullshit. Outside of
Pete Davidson, Pete Davidson's gonna be looking for you.
Oh my god. Damn, that'd be hilarious.
Thank you. I think.
Well, keep up the great work. I'm super proud of you. I think you're
Thank
doing
you,
great.
mate.
Don't go into porn.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna stick to some fighting and just modeling.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for now.
Keep up the great work, Ty. You're the best. Take care.
Thank you. Can't wait to be over and see a show. So I'm gonna crash the door if I don't get free tickets, bro.
Let me know. What's up, people? Football is back, and BetOnline is your #1 source for all football betting needs and sports info this season. Find all the latest football odds, news, and game matchups, including this year's opening week games. BetOnline is your continued source for all your wagering information, including live betting, free contests, and live scores. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events, including MLB, MMA, tennis, boxing, even golf. Head over to betonline.ag to join and receive your 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code CLNS50 to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, that was Tai Emery. Oh man, I like her. She's a cool chick.
She seems fun. She seems like she'd be a fun person to hang out with.
Oh yeah, I know. But then I feel like you'd hang out with her, and then you would see her date other guys, and I would get jealous. You'd be like she would friend zone you in a heartbeat. I feel like that's the chick.
Okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, she'd be very cool to hang out with. She's fucking crazy, dude. That chick is man.
Australians. She left home at 8. Is that what she said?
8 years old in the system, living on floors. Sometimes I think I wonder if I'm she makes me wonder if I'm being too good to my kid. I want my kid to be a badass. Maybe
Dude, there's something to that. Every story of all these winners is these people who had really. I'm just reading the Viola Davis autobiography, and her life was miserable. And that bitch just won 3 Oscars and 2 Emmys and all sorts.
Yeah,
of
but
shit.
every story of every person in jail too also has that same story. So
That's so you got to decide which one.
Right. But yeah, it's been a crazy. So you were at the fights last week.
Yeah.
I saw Nick Diaz came to your comedy show.
Nick Diaz came to my comedy show. It was very funny. It was Nick, Gilbert Melendez, Jake Shields, and a few of the other guys from that crew.
Were you looking over to see if they were laughing? I do that. Sometimes I like when I have to see.
Well, it was funny because I was I knew where they were. They were kind of in the back and to the left. And I heard them laughing, but I was I'm just going to do some straight up jujitsu jokes, which I never do. And I don't know what they were doing, but I was talking about how fighters are better in bed. You want good sex? Have sex with those fighters. They're the best in bed. Just know that if you ever get on tap, they're going to hip escape or just something like that. And I said something too. I was you know what? Because something about sex is I never think about sex during jujitsu, but I think about jujitsu during sex all the time.
That's hilarious and weird.
Which is true. You got me in closed guard, bitch. Really? And so I kind of do an act out of breaking her guard. And I'm hearing some laughs from them, but I'm I'm only doing this jokes for you motherfuckers. You better be laughing really hard. And
but a lot of times you got to do what you do. Don't pander. I made that mistake so many times. They just want to see you do your thing.
Yeah, I know. But so I didn't pander that much, but I did some jujitsu jokes and
So our next fighter we have on the show. This is great because I love this show. I became familiar with this fighter. I was on World Star Hip Hop, just scouting along World Star. I was bored one day, and there was it said transgender female fights male, and I'm like, huh? And then I looked at it. I watched the fight. And I'm like, this is a competitive fight, like because the headline was kind of misleading. Like this girl Gita was beating the shit out of this guy, and then he came back. He came back and he stopped her on the feet, but she had the heel hook like 4 different times, and you could tell she knew what she was doing. It wasn't a situation where it was like a fish out of water. Like this girl was going for stuff left and right, just kind of got caught with a couple big shots. And I'm like, wow, this girl, like, and the fact that she's fighting men, I was like kind of blown away, So I posted it on the thing, and I go, hey, transgender girl fights male man. She had balls, right? And the thing fucking blew up. I actually texted you. I go, Bill. I know,
should I do it? And I was like, I'm the wrong person to ask. Because,
yeah. You're like, do it. 2 million hits. And I'm like, holy shit. Then the guy that was in the video starts posting. And then Gita hits me up. And she's like, you better not take that down, motherfucker. That's hilarious. like fucking cancel culture could suck my dick. And I'm like, dude, this is the coolest chick I've ever seen. Like, so I'm like, I got to know more about this girl. So Gita, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. First of all, I watched your first fight, which was awesome. Second fight didn't go your well, but it was a competitive fight. What do you think you could have done different in the second fight?
I think honestly, so I'm gonna say I fight again October 8th, which is only 4 weeks away. I think what I was missing in the second fight that I didn't that I did the first fight is that I wasn't as aggressive. I felt like I could have capitalized on so many different areas, and I just wasn't as mean as I was in the first fight. The first fight, I wanted to prove a point. It was my first fight. I knew that there was a lot of people that were going to be against me. So my biggest thing was like, go back to my roots of how I was raised being Puerto Rican Italian from Boston, and like go out there and fight this motherfucker like I'm going to kill him. So I'm going to go back to my old ways. The thing with Shane Mistretta is he was known for being a stand-up artist and a boxer. And so I wanted to at least showcase some of my striking, because my base is jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Like I'm a great wrestler. And so I'm going to go back to that old way. And I feel like I did throw Shane Mistretta twice. And if you notice in the beginning of the fight, I allowed him to get up. I should have stayed on top of him and beat his ass while I was on top of him. Because, I mean, strength-wise, we were pretty equal. I think he got me in the striking, and I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew, because he was taller and longer and somewhat stronger in that area when it came to striking. But I mean, every dog has their day. Like, honestly, I watched that video like 50 times, and I'm like, that's not what I look like in sparring class. Like, I'm usually the one that's taking motherfuckers' heads off. So I felt like since he was taller, longer, and a little bit stronger in the striking, what I know from 10 years or more of watching MMAs, if you can't get them in striking, you take their feet off. You give them the wrestling and then jiu-jitsu. So just being more of an asshole for my next fight, I think that's what I missed with Shane with the second fight, the fight that everyone's talking about.
Yeah. The first fight, you beat that guy's ass. I mean, it was that was a beatdown.
We became friends after that. He said that I caught him off guard. He was like, I didn't think you were going to come in that hot. And I was like, well, I mean, I had a lot to prove. And my mentality was just to fucking kill him.
Did he mean come in that hot or come in looking hot?
No, that's another thing. Like, I want, like, in the future, I want my opponents to just forget about what I look like on a normal basis. Like when I'm in there, I have braids in my hair. I'm sweaty. I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, don't treat me like a princess. Treat me like, hey, this is someone that's trying to fuck me up, break my ankle, armbar me, punch me in the face. Like my first opponent rocked 2 black eyes for like a month.
Yeah,
like I wasn't being nice to him at all.
Right. Yeah. Now, so you were obviously, so you were born with, I'm probably going to fuck up the lingo 100 times during this podcast. I apologize in advance. But you were born with male body parts and you lived as a man till you were how old?
I started my transition when I was like 20. I didn't even know this shit was possible until I met another trans person, and I was like, "No, honey, I saw Jerry Springer. That's all makeup and hair. Like, that's this bullshit." And then she told me, she was like, "No, there's like scientists and doctors that actually fucking figured out how to do this shit." And so she sent me to the right people in Boston, and that's how it all started. But yeah, I was born male in 1988, and I grew up as male, like a hardcore asshole outside of city outside of Boston, very Puerto Rican Italian, like roughneck.
You were getting in fights, weren't you? You were a troublemaker.
Yeah. I'm more of a bully beater. So if I ever got into a fight, it was usually because I was defending someone or my family. But I was raised really gutta hood, ghetto in the streets, like New York, Boston mentality. And so my situation, it was like I hit a fork in the road when I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I always loved boxing. Like I grew up with Tito Trinidad and Cotto, and my family was big on the Puerto Rican boxers scene, and I was really great at wrestling. And I'm like, of both sides of my family, I'm like the scrappiest person. I've been taking out dudes since I was really, really young. Like I've always been really strong and into mixed martial arts, and watching Jackie Chan and Jet Li and Chun Li and like all that fucking. I watched Chuck Norris all the time. Like I grew up like every other fighter. The only difference was that my looking in the mirror didn't make sense. There was shit in my head that wasn't making sense. So that's why I ended up doing the transition. And I asked myself one time, like, should I do the transition and then become a fighter, or should I become a badass fighter and then transition later? And I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm just gonna fix who how I feel like and what I look like. And then in the future, when I'm ready to do it, and like walking into my first dojo or my first MMA class was like 2013. I just figured the world is getting more and more gay anyways. So I'm like, at some point in the next 10 years, people are not going to give a fuck. And then, I mean, now I'm here. I'm on my 3rd fight in less than a year.
No,
so
you're doing great. Now, did you wrestle in high school on the wrestling team?
Yes. So I was in the 119 category, and my mom has proof of it. She has I was like on 2 or 3 different news articles, because I was the kind of person, like I would argue with my coach, and I would argue with my coach and be like, I'm just gonna pin him and that's it. Those are the points. I'm not gonna fucking wrestle. If he can't get me past the first round, I'm not wrestling 6 minutes. Like, fuck you. And he was like, I remember his name was Coach Niceforo. He was like really small but really strong, and he always said, eat a piece of fruit when you go home. And I'm going home to a Puerto Rican Italian mom, like, bro, I'm not gonna make weight tomorrow. I'm sorry. So I wrestled 119, and then I quit because I sent some motherfucker to the hospital. I did like an illegal throw, and his neck twisted, and he started like flapping like a fish on the ground.
The stinky
and
legs.
And the ambulance came and took him out. And then like the whole 2-hour ride home on the bus, the coach was just talking mad shit to me. So I just never went back. And then I discovered MMA through Gina Carano. I watched her. I had just got out of work, and I was eating on my bed, and I was flipping through the channels, and lo and behold, there's 2 bitches. Two women.
You can say 2 bitches.
Yeah, please say 2 bitches. Fighting in the cage, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And like, it just excited me. And then I started following her. And then Cyborg came out of nowhere. And I was like, you know what? She kind of looks more like me. Maybe I'll just stick to Cyborg. So I follow Cyborg for the past 15 years and whatever. And then like obviously Bellator, PFL. It's become such a part of my life and lifestyle. Yeah. Like I literally watch MMA and boxing every day. What I want people to know when it comes to this podcast is like, I didn't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to be a trans and a fighter. Like I've been fighting all my life. I've always been a scrappy person. I just so happen to be cute and, and transgender. Like I'm just mixing the two because this world has gotten to a place where I can actually do it and be successful at it. And my biggest thing is just doing it the right way. And I know that there's going to be so many fucking people talking about what's right and what's wrong, but majority rules when it comes to many things like voting or anything, like usually the bigger group wins. So I know, and I've always known that like 99.9% of the human population sees it the way we do, where if you're born male, you're going to compete male. And I've always said it doesn't matter whether it's fucking hopscotch or tic-tac-toe. I would much prefer to go against the boys. Like, I mean, why not? Whether I win or lose, which I have 2 fights. The first one, I did amazing. I showcased so many different disciplines. Although my cardio wasn't there, I still fought the entire 9 minutes and I showed different styles. I lost via TKO, and I think I really needed that loss because I didn't want to just get another win and be too high in the skies. Like,
well, it's also amateur, and like amateur fights is you're supposed to learn about, I mean, losses when as a pro you learn a lot too, but kind of get these out of the way, these learning experiences before you go pro. Mm-hmm. Now a lot of people didn't like the fact that, they thought that if you're born a man, even if you transition, you have a big advantage over a female if you fight them. And do you feel that way?
I do. Honestly, like, I love women. I have 3 sisters. I have a mom and a stepmom. And like, even when I shake their hands, I'm like, oh my God, I could like break your bones. Like, like women are just soft to me. And like I've said in other podcasts, there are women in this world that are super strong and you can't take that away from them. Like Wonder Woman. And like, they're badasses that I've seen women whip guys' asses. But what it comes down for me, it's the morals, the values, the ethics, how I was raised, just what feels right. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't see myself competing like that ever in anything. Like, I'm very agile and I'm very athletic. And like, I mean, I don't know. Like, if Cyborg wanted to duke it out, I'd probably I'd need like a whole year to think about it. Like, there are women out there that can go up against Ben, but I mean, it's a case-by-case basis, yes, but then again, it's the feeling that I have inside. Like, I wouldn't want to compete against females in any type of sport.
Are you being called out by females? Are females going like, hey?
Never.
No,
never. They stay in their lane.
Now, on the other hand, some people are saying, well, because you transitioned and you I don't know the exact science, but they have more estrogen and they took out some testosterone and yada, yada. Are you now at a disadvantage against men?
No. Well, here's the funny thing. I started my transition or started taking pills, whatever, in 2010. In 2014, because I'm a party girl. I go out, I drink, I smoke cigarettes, I do all the shit that you're not supposed to do. But that's when I'm not training. Right. And so I ended up getting a blood clot scare. And then I found out to the doctors that transitioning is not safe on the body at all. It's like no different than like peds and like putting other stuff that just doesn't belong in your body. So, because like over time, it can harm your liver and your kidneys and all that stuff. And so I found out that blood clots are really, 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 really dangerous. And I was like, maybe I don't need it. So at that point, I had already changed my name. I had already like transitioned in the way where I can like live a normal life. and I never got clocked. Like, I don't know how my voice changed. I'm thankful for that, for the grace of God. But I was living a life where it was just, I was just Gita-Marie. That's it. Like, I didn't have to explain shit. And I was living alone in Florida. So I stopped taking my hormones. And so for the past 6 or 7 years, I've just not been on hormones at all. I just got my breasts done like 3 months ago, but that's about it. Like, I have no other operations, no facial surgery, no nothing. So I still have the normal testosterone, just not as high.
Got it.
Like, the last time I checked my levels, it was like 200 T's below the normal average male or something like that. But I'm still very strong. I'm still very athletic and stuff like that.
So you kind of went halfway through the treatment. You didn't go all the way. Is what you're
I stopped.
Okay.
I stopped because I didn't want to die over fucking.
No,
hormones.
I mean, look, that's 100% blood clots. I mean, crazy. You have to be super careful with that. Like my dad had blood clots. He was in the hospital he almost died. He has to take thinners all the time, blood thinners. Like,
they have me on aspirin every day.
So do you think will you fully transition if you stop fighting?
Hell no.
No.
I think that's the dumbest shit ever. I was blessed. I pissed off a lot of women and men.
Now, are there enough fighters to have like a trans league, like a Transvicta or something, like where you have because I just feel like that would solve everything. If there was like just a trans people fighting trans people, wouldn't that just be...
I know what you mean. Like, I've been told so many times, like, wouldn't the guy, even if he like fought you, be in the lose-lose? And I'm like, no, because look at Shane Mistretta. He took it and fucking ran with it. He's the one that made us this popular.
Yes, 100%. But at the same time, like, a lot of people are like, that dude beat up a woman. He shouldn't feel good. Yada, yada, yada. And then a lot of people, I mean, it is a little bit like...
you know what was funny is that he posted the TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And he just had a funny caption on it. And his TikTok is already at like 5 million views or whatever. And like thousands of hate comments on like both of us. And so what I thought was funny is that he wasn't specific. There was nothing about transgender. So to a lot of people, it looked like he fought a woman.
Yeah.
Because if you see the beginning of the photos, it's us doing the face off. And I don't look like a dude. It looks like a fucking badass brunette about to fight some guy. So there was thousands of comments where people like thought he was actually fighting a female. So you had those people saying, oh, that's what she gets for stepping up against a guy. And then they're like, well, he should have never took the fight. And then like 5% of people actually know the real story who are like, no, wait, that's Gita-Marie. She's a trans person and she's fighting men and she has a whole background story. And that's where... recently, that's when, I don't know who the fuck did it, but they posted it on World Star where you guys saw it. And then that blew up and then you posted it. And then now I'm here on a platform.
Honestly, like, I'm happy. We're like friends now. I consider you a friend. Like, I honestly consider you a friend. And like, you have a great sense of humor. I respect the hell out of you.
But you're connected to the entire MMA community. Like, this is fucking like the most important podcast I've ever done.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's all good. Now, that being said, do you get to choose the vagina you want? Like, do they have like a list of like when you go for the doctor, are they like, hey,
listen, I'm keeping my dick. Sorry.
She's got a great dick. She told us she has a great dick.
I already said it.
I mean, hey, next time you win your fight, you got to flash your dick. I mean, come on. Next time you get a good knockout, you got to flash your dick.
Oh
no, I just got my boobs on. I'll probably flash my tits like Ty did.
Yeah, we had Ty on earlier, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I love her. Dude, she's been following me and she comments on all of my shit. Like, she's a sweetheart. And like, one of my dreams is to go to Thailand and train, and that's where she's at.
Yeah, no, she's a really cool girl. She said that her OnlyFans blew up. Like, she made like $50,000 after that. Like, bang! It's just because people were.
Are you doing OnlyFans now?
I mean, I have one, but I had to like deactivate it because I might be on a TV show soon.
Oh shit!
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I don't like. I'm really, really close. So this is the first time in over 20 years that casting directors actually like notice me.
Oh, awesome.
I'm a few steps away from being casted. And one of the things they told me like 2 days ago was like, hey, so we're kind of iffy about this OnlyFans thing. I was like, fuck, like you actually have to subscribe to it. It's not like I'm giving it out for free.
Right.
So I might have to cancel, like take it down.
Put it on pause at least.
I have to put it on pause because I don't want to take away from being on a television show, and like it's like a really cool opportunity. And I think it's something that I need to do. I've gotten like they made me get vaccinated for it. Like I've gotten that far. I just had a psych eval yesterday, so I'm like, yes, I have an OnlyFans, but I might have to cancel it.
I mean,
just to
you
get on
are
this
what
show.
Hollywood wants. Hollywood wants hot women who are badasses and who are also trans. You fit everything that they want. And you're also Latina.
Puerto Rican, baby.
You're everything. You're everything that Hollywood wants right now.
Yeah, you know what I was telling people at work yesterday? I was like, I'm like Rambo and Cardi B in one body.
Hell yeah.
What do you do for work?
I'm a cook.
Oh, no, actually, you can cook.
Yeah.
Now, how did your parents react to the whole trans thing?
It took my dad 3 years, but after he realized that I was like the hottest bitch in the family, and the funniest, yeah, we reunited one time at a quinceañera, and he came up to me and he was like, you remind me of your mom when she was that age. I'm like, Dad, shut up. And he was like, $50, make a holla. And he was like making jokes to like sell me to the streets and stuff like that. But we've been best friends ever since. It's been like 7 or 8 years since we've reconnected. But he's my biggest fan. Like that's my homie, my dad. And like coming from a Puerto Rican Italian family, like, you know, you just never know what you're gonna get. Either they're gonna really love you or they're gonna kick your ass out at the age of 17. Like, you never know. But my family's amazing. I really have a great foundation, and that's why I'm able to like do stuff like this. And like, Adam, first of all, I've been following you for so many years. Just to have you make fun of me, I was just like, oh, I made it. I tell people all the time, like, you're not famous until you're on South Park. So I'm like, I'm waiting for that opportunity too.
I think,
but
honestly,
my siblings all love me. Everyone thinks I'm a fucking cool like X-Men. Like it's a blessing. It's really a blessing, and that's why like I want to share my story, because every other story is like, boo hoo me, I was abused, I ran away, I don't have that background. I want to show that like I have a fucking beautiful story that I want to share, and I'm cool, I'm funny, I'm athletic, I can cook. There's so many different things that I can do. Like, I feel like it's time for people to know more about me. And like, yeah, my parents are my best friends. They're the reason why I could. One thing my mom always said was like, do whatever you want in life, just be a good person. And no matter what you do in life, know that you can always come home and you'll always have a mother to love you and hold you and all that stuff. So I can't do any wrong in front of them.
How much was the surgery?
My boobs?
Yeah, the boobs and like the pills and stuff. And
so the pills, if you have good insurance, they can pay for that. But it was like, for the appointments, it's like, it wasn't super expensive. Like, I have bottles in the refrigerator that I haven't touched. The surgery for my boobs was $4,000. All my money, no sugar daddies, no nothing like that. I paid for it myself. It was a really proud moment. But yeah, the pills, I was on and off. Like, I hate taking pills. The routine was annoying. I never wanted to do the shots. So I don't know. I'm just glad that I got this far in the transition that I didn't have to continue it. But no more than like $200, I think. It's different in every state. I know in California, they fucking feed people like it's candy.
Now, what do you think? Because like, I think that, look, man, I'm gonna say man, but look, whatever, you could be whoever you want, and obviously if you're growing up and you look in the mirror and don't see yourself, and you're old enough to make that decision, But as far as starting like kids on this stuff, that's when it gets to be like, because kids, a lot of times kids want attention, and all of a sudden they're getting positive attention, negative attention. They want attention, and they're confused. A lot of these kids. So what do you think about starting kids on this kind of stuff?
To be honest, I'm going to be really, really honest. Like the last 5 years, I was like, oh my God, all of a sudden you can just like pick whatever the fuck. I think I did it in a way that made, I wouldn't say right, but it made more sense. I was 18. I was out of the house. I didn't have to deal with hurting my parents' feelings. I had already graduated high school. I did all these things that ultimately granted me the right to do it myself. I feel like parents doing it early with young children is like, they don't really fucking know what they want. Like we're like in our I'm 34, and there are times where I wake up and I'm like, what do I want in life? Like, I don't know. I think children should, just like alcohol and getting your license and shit like that, there should be a certain age where you're allowed to do that. Like, you can't, a 4-year-old coming up to me talking about sex and how they feel is just uncomfortable.
And are you getting that? Are you getting like young kids reaching out to you on social media, say, hey, I'm 7 years old and no,
wait, dude. Honestly, Gita, I'm so happy that you have your shit together, because you're going to be huge. By the way, they're going to get you on. They're going to get you on Fox News. You're going to be on Bill Maher. Like,
no, fuck them. The news sucks. Fuck all of them.
I'm telling you. Once this show comes out,
I'd rather be on shit like this, where people are like raw and uncut, and they talk about like real life, and like they get down to the nitty gritty, and like you're realist, and like Joe Rogan, like you guys talk about stuff that
like, I feel like
the news is like constantly fucking trying to sugarcoat shit, and they're not putting out the right stories that actually make sense. So fuck them all. I'd rather be on podcast.
But be prepared. Once Rogan gets a hold of you, oh my God.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
I've gone to Adam Hunter.
Yes, thank you.
I have a few questions real quick. Number one, are you the only trans woman fighting men in any promotion right now?
I think I'm the only trans person competing against men, period, in the entire world.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, wait. I can't take away anything from the Thai bitches. They're the ones that started that. The Muay Thai girls, they don't give a fuck. It'd be so cool if someone can fly me to Thailand and I can like duke it out with another bitch out there.
It's like the president over there. Now, as far as the locker room, do you shower in the men's or women's?
No, you think I can go in looking like this to the men's locker room?
Well, apparently you have a 10-inch dick, according to you. So
it'll turn into a glory hole so fast.
So you're in the girls' locker room, but then you have a dick.
And this is the first time talking about it. Like, I just go in. There's a sauna at Crunch Fitness, and I fucking love saunas. So I go in, and I'm not like in a swimsuit. I go in my regular my leggings and my top, and I sit there and I play on my phone, and I only do it for like 10 or 15 minutes. But out of respect, I'm just like, okay, I think this is enough. I go in to pee and stuff like that, but I don't like hang out in the bathrooms because I just still have that fear that like someone might be uncomfortable, and so I'm like. At the same time, I don't want to be ballsy, no pun intended, and walk into the men's bathroom and they're like, excuse me, ma'am. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I've gotten to the point in my transition where I can't go in looking like this to a men's bathroom.
That's gotta be hard. But then you go to the girls and there's a huge cock, and the girl's like, why can't my husband have that?
Yeah.
Pointing it.
No, I don't do anything that will put me in that position. I go in and I come out. Like I take a couple of selfies, but I do my best not to put myself in any harm in that way, because although women are very inspired by me and give me compliments on a daily basis, and they're always like talking about like how I am as a person, like at work, in public, at the gym, like when it comes to that, it's the fucking bathroom's an intimate place. Like that's somewhere where we don't want men. Like as a female, as a trans person, I don't want men in there. Like that's where I'm like fucking picking my nose and like checking my genitalia and stuff like that.
Are you attracted to men or women or both? Or what are you looking for?
I'm only attracted to white men. That's it.
What's up, girl?
White man. That's hilarious. It'd be funny if like that was the thing your like dad was like, all right, I'm putting my foot down. All right.
I'm a country loving Latina. I have dreams of being on my little farm in the hills, fucking hunting and fishing and fucking I'm a wild chick. But I come from a city where it's like you know that song with Alicia Keys, like everything's like gray and black in New York.
Yeah.
So leaving and going to the country, seeing mountains, like that's my jam. I love that shit.
What gym are you at in Florida?
Ooh. So last fight I was my own coach, and this fight I hope no one fucking clocks me for this, but I've had issues with certain coaches and gyms not seeing eye to eye with my story, and so I'm sending it by myself.
Come on.
I'm a fighter. I don't give a fuck.
I know, but like Angela Hill, Angela Hill, who's ranked like fourth, watched your fight, and she said that girl would have won if she, with a little bit of technique, she would have won that fight.
Yeah, but she's also never sparred with me. She's never trained with me.
No, I know. But it wasn't an insult.
I know it wasn't.
Why are we going for those heel hooks? Quit going for heel hooks, goddammit.
No, she had it. But I'm just saying that don't you think
I had the wrong leg.
But don't you think you're like a good, I mean, MMA Masters, there's a transgender fighter there.
No, we got 4 weeks. I got to do it myself. I can't get a
do your own training. No, you got to get a real team. Come on.
It's not. I'm gonna win without a fucking coach.
Out of all the things he said,
disorder, Adam.
Out of all the things he said, this is the one that I'm like, come on, like this is the you're such a good fighter. You got so much talent.
So I'm gonna tell you the story. My first fight. Repeat yourself. Repeat what you said. How did I do on my first fight?
Yeah, but that guy looked like the competition's gonna get better. The competition's gonna get better.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But at the end of the day, this is my amateur career. I technically shouldn't even have this much attention and clout. There's so many other amateur fighters that have bigger and better records than I do. The only reason everyone's on my fucking dick is because I'm trans.
Okay, fine, but you know what? There's a lot of people in those kind of situations.
Like I technically, like there should be amateur fighters pissed off that I'm getting this much attention. But I mean, it is what it is. 2022. Like I have a story. I'm more interested than them.
All right,
that's something that they're gonna have to. But
you realize
swallow.
to get to the top level, you will need a coach, right?
Yes, but for right now, I only have 4 weeks to figure this out. I don't have time to be.
You do your own thing, but I'm just saying. I watched your fights. You have a ton of potential. You have great. You got power. You got skill. You got aggression. You could obviously pace yourself a little better, but you know. But I just think I think a good coach, good team around you. I don't see why any team you walk into. I'd be honored to train with you, you know, so.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree, but there's been so much proof that there's UFC fighters and Bellator fighters that sometimes they don't meet eye to eye with certain coaches, and guess what? They go to the garage, they go to the fucking parking lot, they go back to the root of doing it, because at the end of the day, we are fighters, we're natural born fucking killers, and that's how I am. I there's not one coach in this world that can tell me that I need a coach. Yes, they're a great help. Having a routine and having a schedule and having someone that can really get down to like what's going to make you a better fighter. Yes, I could understand that. We all need a sensei. We all need fucking Splinter in our life. But when it comes to my situation, I have no time to sit down and do this with coaches. I need someone that's like, hey, Gita, I love you. I love your style. let's go murk motherfuckers. And that's it. I need someone that's like, we're going to kill this opponent October 8th. That's it.
Okay.
I don't need no one to be like, oh, this is what you should and shouldn't do. And like fucking sugarcoat everything for me. I'm like, I need someone that's going to come with me and murder people.
All right. Okay. Look, Gita knows best. I'm in.
She's contrarian.
She's her own person. And I can't wait. So October 8th, where can we watch this fight?
So the first fight was on pay-per-view. I don't know if he's going to work with that team again. So if they don't do the pay-per-view, then we'll just have to watch it when the people edit it, which usually takes a week.
Who are you fighting?
His name is Manny Pinto. It's going to be at 150. His record is 2-1. I don't know how he lost, but I know that he won by rear naked choke both fights. He has that Leo Machida stance where it's like karate.
Yeah.
He doesn't look as fit as I do. He looks like one of those guys that's just like heavy set and like he's pretty fast. Like he's probably going to be a lot harder to deal with than Shane Mastretta, which is awesome because I want the best competition. I don't want easy fights. I want someone that's going to fucking meet me in the middle and we break each other's faces.
I love it. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you?
So you can find me on the real_maneater 719 on Instagram, Gita the Man Eater on TikTok. My Facebook is for family only, so I try to keep that private. My OnlyFans, I'm not even going to talk about that. You can figure it out.
Oh, God damn it.
You can Google it. Gita the Man Eater on YouTube. If you just type GITA and like Man Eater, it'll pop up. There's a lot of other videos besides this that I feel people should see because there's certain topics that I get really, really deep into, and it's another side to who I am as a person. This is not fake, not a publicity stunt. I've never done this for clout. I just.
Hey, look, Gita, you're way too hot for it to be fake. No one thinks that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I need more people on my side. I've gotten like thousands and thousands of hate comments, and it doesn't bother me. It makes me stronger, and I think it's funny. Like, here's another message to those fuckers: come up with something new. I've heard every joke in the book. Like,
yeah, I'm on your side.
At this point, I'm just like, you guys are boring. Like, come up with something new. Like, I make me laugh for real. Like, make me feel offended for once because it's not working.
Yeah, guys, everyone Google Gita, see what pops up. But listen, I'm a fan. Thank you so much. I'm on your side. Keep up the great work. You ever need anything, you hit me up. I'm here for you.
Adam was so excited all week to do this podcast with you.
I was.
Every day. Yeah.
Yes, I'm changing the narrative. I'm going to be my own trailblazer, and people like you are going to be the reason why it happened. So I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you in the octagon one day. Take care, Gita.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That was Gita the Man Eater.
Cool girl.
Yeah, right? I mean, man, this sport attracts some of the most unique, insane,
driven,
funny, driven. Like,
bananas.
Lots of adjectives.
It is weird. Like she definitely, the whole thing about not wanting a coach, it's a little like, have you ever heard that before?
I've heard it. I just think, but look, to each their own. I would assume that iron sharpens iron, and she would be better with better people, especially in MMA.
Yeah.
But look, remember Rocky IV when he was training for the Russian? He was he had no sparring. He basically just fucking chopped wood in
Siberia.
Siberia. Anyway, I'm late for my therapy appointment, which out of everyone that we've talked to, I'm the one in therapy. So, but I hope you have a great week, Bill. You're the best.
All right. Love you. Bye.